Hello, friends. We're back again. Welcome to Fightful. It's time for your TNA Impact post show. It's August 21st, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky, and I'm back. I was off last week. Went to Ottawa, went to C4 Wrestling, did a whole bunch of stuff. You're going to see a lot of those interviews and conversations coming with Evil Uno from AEW, Stu Grayson, of course, people know. You're going to have Gabby Forza and Bear Bronson and plenty more coming between here in the main channel and over on Fightful Overbooked, our sister channel. But enough about me. My one and only is here. My ride or die. Do you want to know something? Cresta Starr is here. How you doing?
Hello, everybody. It is your friend, your guide, Corporate Cresta. Happy to be back with you. The energy is low, but my spirits are high. I worked all day today, and I'm here to talk about TNA with you.
And we will. And we'll also talk about how, God forbid, this company give you a match that doesn't end in shenanigans or some sort of interference.
It's the WWE way at this point because it's not better on their other brands.
What did we witness tonight? We have lots to talk about, but also not much to talk about. We'll get to it. But if you haven't already, leave a thumbs up on this video. You can share it with your friends. That always helps us. And if you haven't subscribed to us here at Fightful, we're dropping content all the time. Today, Tony Khan held a media call ahead of AEW and New Japan's Forbidden Door and CMLL and Stardom and other partners who are involved with the show. But regardless, he did have his media call today. A very good one, might I add. I thought he spoke well. I thought the questions were good. So if you have some time, go check that out. You also got the AEW Dynamite post show from last night, and there's plenty more coming. We're here tonight. That's what we do. FightfulSelect.com is where you go to get all the news and all the best stuff you can. The aggregators are going to aggregate, but if you want it straight from the source, you want it right, you want it now. FightfulSelect.com, $5.99. Get it. It's good time. Cresta, what did you think of tonight's Impact?
You know, I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to say it very plainly. This was a very NXT episode of TNA Impact tonight. And that is the best way I can put it. Like, yeah, I'm sure, yes, we had some matches, but it was definitely giving NXT. And I don't watch NXT, so there's that.
It was a show. It was a show, and like I said, the matches all had shenanigans. The promos were all they're just plugging along to get to the pay-per-view. They're just plugging along to Bound for Glory. That's what it feels like. And I get it. Like, they just come off of Emergence. The show was good. There were some matches that are worth checking out. I don't think much was in doubt in terms of results, but there are some stories coming along, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it with your super chats. And email, get your question or statement right on the air, and your Humper chats. Crest is going to tell you how and why and when and where. And then we'll dig right in. So why don't you tell them about humperchats.com?
So you're going to head on over to humperchats.com. Yes, that is HUMPERCHATS.com. You're going to put your dollar amount in the donation box. And in the comment box, you can leave any comment. Myself and Joel will read it out loud. Hopefully it's a wrestling related comment and it supports the channel. We get to keep a little bit more of the proceeds. I'm happy. Joel's happy. Sean's happy. The Decepticons are happy. And we're happy when you use humperchats.com.
Someone asking in the chat, when is Bound for Glory? October 12th is Bound for Glory. Victory Road is on the way. That's September, I believe 25th. It's a Friday. 26th is Victory Road in Edmonton. I wanted to go, but two things kind of stopped me. One, All Out is the week before. So because it's Toronto, I'm going to stay here and do the shows that are close to me. And also, let's be frank, TNA doesn't exactly provide much in terms of live media opportunities going into these shows. So instead, we'll just stick around in Toronto. Victory Road, we'll watch it. And then Bound for Glory in Lowell, we'll cover it. You know we do. Shall we dig into this show, Cresta?
Nom. Let's dig in.
Let's go. Trick Williams opens up. He defended successfully his TNA World Championship this past, or I guess it was last Friday at Emergence. He finally explained why he has the title upside down, which is something that I pointed out a couple weeks ago. And people were like, oh, it's because WWE doesn't care. Neither does TNA. I was like, no, there is a reason for it. He's just not telling you. And then he gave you the most I'm 14 and this is deep answer, which is the title is upside down because I turned TNA upside down.
I kind of wish you just would have said, I don't respect you guys. To me, I would take the dig. I would have respected that more.
That's all he should have done. Should have been like, when your country is in distress, you fly the flag upside down. I fly this upside down because y'all are in distress with me.
We are in distress.
And then they are. And I would have been like, absolutely. And like, yeah. So they addressed it tonight. They addressed it on NXT this past Tuesday as well. And I had a good laugh. I was like, yeah, I brought it up 2 weeks ago. So I'm glad somebody finally said something about it. But yeah, they came out with the most, like I said, I'm 14 and this is deep. They could. Anything would have been better. But either way, Santana then comes out. He retired Sami Callihan in Emergence last Friday because that was something that needed to be done. He does this whole walkthrough now. It's not just coming out through the audience. Now he's doing almost the Jey Uso entrance where he's coming through the people to get out into the main arena. It's getting over. It always has. Him coming through the crowd always does well. And he says, hey, you didn't pin me at Slammiversary, Trick, so I still get another shot. And Trick's like, nah. And then out comes Santino. And Santino teases the title match and making it. And Trick says, no, you didn't read the fine print. I coincidentally have 50 days before, or I should say that's just, he has 50 days before he has to defend the title again. And coincidentally, Bound for Glory is in 52 days. Santana hits the ring. Trick runs away. Later on, Trick finds AJ Francis. They run into each other because they're pals. And then Santino finds him and he says, I'm going to look into this whole law thing and 50 days and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is all right. And then he makes a tag match for next week because Trick can still compete. He just can't put the title on the line. So Trick and AJ are going to team up against Santana and Macklin, who was later on revealed to be the partner. He stepped up to Santino and said, hey, I hold the line. I'm the guy. So I'm looking forward to this tag match. But overall, this promo really felt like a way to reach to Bound for Glory. What do you think, Cresta? Because it's happening. They just haven't been able to tell you yet that it's happening, Trick and Santana.
Well, let me start here by saying I like to hate my heels ethically. And I can't hate my heels ethically when they're making sense. Trick Williams was speaking truth, unfortunately, here. You had 2 chances at it, Mike Santana. Although I cheated, you didn't spin the block on nobody. The little zinger of, I don't want to embarrass you again in front of your family. I'm like, you're cruising for bruising. So I can't wait for that payoff because especially the way TNA has made Santana about his sobriety, about his family. So I could see what's happening here. I know where Trick Williams is going to go, and I don't hate that. I was racking my brain. When is the pay-per-view that he has to do an arbitrary 50 days? It went from title defense, because it wasn't 50 days between your last 3 title defenses, but now you have a lawyer. Santino, what power do you have here? Who do we need to talk to? I'm a little sports confused.
It's lazy is what it is. Because like you said, he never had this before, or at least this was never brought up before. And all of a sudden, he's got the 50 days. I don't understand why they had to get so convoluted. They just, again, cutting off your nose to spite your face. And that's what this was. All he had to do was say no, or get to this tag match. This Trick and AJ and Santana Macklin match, this could be a main event at Victory Road. It's a plus show. Your tickets are selling very well in Edmonton. There is documented proof of this. Go over to WrestleTix, you'll see they've been doing pretty well. I don't know why this has to be a match that they do next week and instead not run it at the show. Or maybe they will. Maybe they will run it back. Maybe there's a reason that they don't go through with it next week. I don't know. I do know there are spoilers out there, but regardless, maybe they'll run it back. Who knows? That being said, this got a little too cute to have to do this 50 days. When normally you would say 60 days, and that's 2 months. And instead you're doing 50 days, which is just an arbitrary number that you picked out of a hat because the pay-per-view happens to be in 50 days.
Well, I will say this. I hope, because at the end of the day, I'm always going to hope for the best for TNA. I hope this goes somewhere because it's giving wet fart and not even fart. It's kind of giving diarrhea.
Wow.
Again, pardon me for being a little jaded and cynic, but I literally just saw this storyline with Joe Hendry. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And if you want to take it even deeper, I literally just saw this storyline with Joe Hendry and an ex-WWE guy.
Fair. It's like how it's better than Wolverine saying Trick was right. Let's talk about it. What's there to talk about?
Trick is the champion. He turned TNA upside down. He said, Santana, you can't get the job done. And we're all here mad. Also, that Baltimore's crab case gave him the runs as well.
I love when AJ and Trick are leaving. AJ's like, I got a reservation. And Trick's like, I want seafood. Let's go to Jimmy's.
You just said that the seafood made you know what? I'm not. I love wrestling.
That stuff is funny. When it's just like, when a heel doesn't learn, that's funny. I like that. This was just like, again, a 50-day arbitrary number is so funny. It's so, for like the dumbest reasons. Yeah, he turned TNA upside down and shook creative out with it.
Get out of here.
Exactly. In some ways, it worked better. Gia Miller's with Order 4. They turn a Ali teases Gia and says, you know, when don't you hate it when people disrespect you and provoke you and push you? And doesn't it make you want to push back and fight? And then Ali says we don't trust the system, and then everyone places their trust in Ali. This is going into the main event later on. This was a fairly good promo. I thought it was more important that Gia Miller gets a little bit rattled over Ali's kind of poking and prodding of her. This is obviously going somewhere with Gia, but Order 4 are pretty good conduit to get there.
I think now, I don't know where, but it started when Gia went from her smiling disposition and said, Tessa, if you ever put your hands on me ever again in life, I will blank and kill you. I was like, oh. So if that's where
last rant about that.
Honestly though, but if that's leading somewhere for Gia, I'm not saying I want Miss Blanchard back, you know, get your money or whatever, whatever, you know, but if this leads to Gia being from, hi, I'm Gia to, hi, I'm Gia. I kind of live for it. I'm sorry, Gia Miller. Hi, I'm Gia. I'm sorry, Gia Miller.
My boyfriend wrestles with the best. Now I'm going to beat you and kill you.
I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me.
And we're back.
And we're back.
She's going to become a demon from hell. Her and Rosemary are going to tag team, for all we know.
Rosemary's afraid of Gia Miller.
That would be very funny.
Rosemary has nightmares about Gia Miller's alter ego.
Rosemary, oh my God. Gia Miller replaces Father James Mitchell as the keeper of the dark realm.
Rosemary's like, shh, be quiet, you'll wake her. Who? Gia.
She was nice until you awoke her.
Why did you have to say the sacred text? Sorry, we're fantasy booking out here.
Fine. You sing happy birthday backwards and all the devil comes out.
That's true.
The Knockouts Gauntlet. I have so much to say about this. This is, again, a finely wrestled match. Jody Threat wins, but she wins by disqualification. Let's get into it. Xia Brookside defeats Killer Kelly. That's how it opens. I love Killer Kelly biting Xia Brookside's stomach at one point in the opening moments. Then Danny Luna comes in after Killer Kelly gets beat. Danny Luna defeats Xia Brookside. Luna wins with the Luna landing. And then Danny Luna defeats Rosemary with the Luna landing. Then Indy Hartwell comes out and she beats Danny Luna at like 3.000000001 on the pin. Rosemary attacked Indy Hartwell on her way to the ring, but then kind of walked off. It was like ships passing in the night and the ships just kind of like grazed each other instead of doing anything. It was very strange because it was all in service of Danny Luna turning on Indy Hartwell. And then Jody Threat comes out and she's like, what are you doing from the stage? And Jody comes running down and Danny's like, I did it for you. I did it for you, Jody. And then she grabs a chair and goes to hit Indy with it, but Jody stands in the way. So Danny Luna socks Jody in the face, gets disqualified, or gets Indy disqualified, and then takes out Indy Hartwell with the chair. Jody Threat does not like how this ends, which I like. That's good white meat babyface mentality. This is not how I deserve a title shot. I don't want it to be this way. She even finds Santino backstage and says, this isn't what I want. I give it to Indy, give it to anyone else. Don't give it to me. I don't want it. Danny Luna's like, this is the problem. I deserve it, not you, not Indy. There's some good stuff in here, but to wrap it up in a Knockouts title gauntlet match, again, too cute by a half. You don't need to go to the extent of invoking the title and who's up next to get to the turn and the dissension between Danny and Jody, which you and I sat here for weeks saying it's inevitable, but it doesn't need to be this way. One of them should have turned, but they don't need to be in each other's orbit to do it. And so here we are. Jody Thread is still firmly the white meat babyface. Danny Luna doing the heel thing. I'm fine with it. It was just strange that they had to do it by having a full, again, and AEW just did this last night, have a full ass tournament, a full ass gauntlet match, really good stuff, and then you poison the finish. Instead of having one person win, the better wrestler wins. No, we're gonna completely muddy it up. Your thoughts?
I don't watch wrestling. That's my thought. I'm kidding.
God bless.
I will say that I like the whole match up until the finish. That part I will agree with you. Now, I choose to be sports entertained because I'm glad it happened. Let me say that I'm glad that Danny Luna, Jody Threat, one of them turned on the other. I'm glad that happened finally. Here's my pros. I understand Danny Luna's position. At one time, I was the hot new toy too. Here comes Indy Hartwell. Now she's the hot new toy. And this is after I had to sit in the back for Naomi. After I had to, for Trinity. After I had to sit in the back for even Ash by Elegance. I want my just due. I've been in, commentary put it over, she's been in numerous #1 contender shots. And now you want to give it to Indy Hartwell? The least my tag team partner could do is win. I thought you were trying to be cool. Now that was unhinged. I'll give you that. She was unhinged for that. But I can understand Jody's, at least not Jody, Danny Luna's position in that case. Like everybody else keep getting a turn. Like I didn't put on a banger with Jordan Grace. Like every time you need a strong, tough girl, I'm not the first one you call. What is happening here? Now, Jody Threat, I love you, but you are too sweet for words. Girl, you should have saw the fire in that woman's eyes when she had that chair. She was hitting somebody, and it was definitely going to be you if you got in the way. At some point, you got to realize your friend, she's gone mad. And it's a mad world. So if you want to beat Danny Luna, and Danny Luna is a fine, fancy wrestler, and you have the cattle prod. I'm kidding. Not the cattle prod. Not the cattle prod.
Wow. There are other ways to get to this heel turn. That's really what it comes down to. I'm not against doing this heel turn. I'm not at all. In fact, I'm glad that they got around to it because it was something that they needed to kind of spruce up the Knockouts division. They do need some heels there. Mm-hmm. What they didn't need to do was an entire gauntlet to get to a messy finish.
I'll take it one step further. They didn't even need to involve Indy Hartwell.
Yeah, but with Indy, it feels like they're trying to get her to the Bound for it's not going to be Bound for Glory. It feels like they're trying to build her to the inevitable moment, and that's fine. What you could have done is some sort of tag match. It could have been Danny and Indy versus Jody and insert partner here, Xia Brookside. I don't care. Could have been any of those four. But instead, they decided to do this in the gauntlet route, which, like, sure, maybe you're going to surprise people a little bit because it's a gauntlet and you don't expect that kind of finish. But at the same time, now you're saying we don't have a #1 contender, despite Jody technically winning, but technically not. You're kicking the can down the road instead of building up a challenger. And now the story isn't about the Knockouts title. The story is about Danny Luna going bad and Jody not liking it and Indy being screwed in the process. That's not a story that they necessarily need to do right now when your Knockouts world title story is wrapped up in another triple threat between a bunch of people who are going back to save the company, as it were. It's a strange situation to put your women in when the title is involved.
I will say to that point, then it would make more sense to then kick it down the road because you still have a mess that you're trying to fix for Bound for Glory, and you can't involve these girls because, and then what? You know what I mean? You've already got Jacy Jayne, sorry. You got Masha trying to get it, Ash trying to get it. Eventually, it's going to be a Masha versus Jacy 1-on-1. That's probably going to happen at Bound for Glory. Same thing with Santana. So it makes sense for after, but you kick it down the road so you have a match for Victory Road. And this way, after that, you can, I don't know. You know
Honestly,
what I'm trying to say?
I do, but honestly, at this point, I'd rather you do Jacy and Masha 1-on-1 at Victory Road. Jacy wins, and then move on to Indy, and just do Indy and Jacy. Have Indy win the Knockouts title back. Have
You
her.
don't think they'd put it on Masha? You don't think Masha would win it back?
What's the point of having both of your main titles go to an NXT person and then come back right to the person they dropped it to? To basically have mirror main event spots going is so stupid. It's so short-sighted. That's my problem. If you're going to tell the same story where the person who drops the title just wins it right back at the same pay-per-view, it's boring. You can't,
Okay,
you gotta be willing to at least take some sort of leaps. And if you're gonna do it, you may as well just build Indy Hartwell to be the victor, to be that big baby face. And again, Masha might not stick around herself. So why not have it with Indy Hartwell, who just showed up and is being pushed to the moon and is getting those opportunities? I'm not gonna. The other thing is, like, Indy isn't exactly the best wrestler in the world either. There are other women on the roster who could probably do better in the ring, but nobody right now is as popular as Indy Hartwell is. And that's fine, but you need to then match the wrestling ability. You're not going to get another Jordan Grace, at least in her presentation, but you can at least start working on a women's division that has a credible work rates.
Yeah. Like, I'm not worried about, I will say this. TNA has a really good habit, or track record, I should say, of taking people who I'm kind of like, okay, I'll see, and actually turning them into someone really, 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 really good. TNA, I will always say, will help in most cases, not for everyone, but in most cases, they really help you level up your wrestling. So I'm not worried about Indy in that regard, but I will say that you bring up a very valid point that if you put it back on Masha, what was the point? And then who's beating Masha? Yeah, the way it's like right now, who's beating Masha?
Yeah, we're back to square one at that point. That's a whole other kettle of fish that we'll get into when we get to the three-way promo. The Inspiration are backstage. They lost again in Emergence. They still are going after the Knockouts tag titles. Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix, they interrupt those, and they say that they'll take the tag titles to NXT because that's the better brand, which is a whole other thing. So they're going to do a tag.
At least they said the quiet part out loud.
I mean, this is, you and I have talked about this. The hardest part about doing NXT versus TNA is that the home brand, they're trying to heal NXT, but like they film NXT at the same spot every single week, and those people are diehard NXT fans. They're not going to boo those people. And then when those people come over to TNA, people who watch NXT are already conditioned to cheer for those people, so they're going to cheer along. So you can't heal an entire company, especially when the people are already baby-faced by the crowd where they're homestead. That's the
I'll
problem.
also say TNA fans are too in on the joke sometimes.
That's fair. Yeah, also some of them just go because it's something to do on a Friday night or a Saturday night.
No, but I mean, like, when I say too in on the joke, at AEW fans also have the same problem too. Someone will come out there and be like, you guys are stupid. We are stupid. No, stop cheering for Trick Williams. He's the bad guy, please. I get it. It's funny. And I also get it, your wrestler, but like, can we play along just a little bit? Just a little bit.
They've never made an attempt. This is also on creative for both sides. No one's made an attempt to make Trick a bad guy. They've always made him into cool. They've always made him a cool bad guy who, let's talk about it. And he's too cool for school heel, and there's too many of those in wrestling anyway. Nobody wants to show ass to get over. This is one of the reasons why I praise someone like Ash and why I praise someone like Chelsea Green, is because people will boo those characters because that's what they're there to do. They're there to be booed. Trick is not getting booed. He's just saying cool shit and doing heel things, and people think that's enough to get over, but it's not. Trick remains, he hasn't changed. He just got egomaniacal.
The anti-hero archetype that Stone Cold started, while I love and I live for it, like you said, there are very rare straight heels. Eddie Guerrero was cool, but it's like, damn, Eddie, I want you to do better, kayfabe. Like, hey, do better, Eddie. MJF is the like one person I could think of is straight up, and shout outs to Darius Carter on the Independency, because he's like, I'll toot on your mother.
Yes.
I don't care.
Yes.
I do not care.
Those are good shouts. Absolutely.
But no one's really, like you said, everyone's just doing cool stuff because, again, I want to boo Trick Williams, but whoa, that trick is catchy. Damn it.
That's the problem. And once you get catchy, it doesn't change. And if you're too cool for school, like I get it. If you are a wrestler and you're trying to sell merch and make money, then yeah, that's what you're going to do, because it does that. Heels don't get that money from merch. But you got to be able to play the side that you're given. And in Trick's case, again, going back to who you're trying to heal, you can't heal the company, and clearly your champion's not doing that. It's obnoxious to me.
And it sucks because I feel like while Santana is a good promo, Santana's a promo from the heart. And sometimes when you're against a funny person or just someone with a lot of catchphrase, Enzo Amore in this situation, Enzo Amore was funny. Maybe everything he said wasn't a zing, but it was funny. So when you're going against someone who's saying some real stuff, that's great. But you know what I remember? Bada bing, bada boom, realest guys in the room. And sometimes it does the other person a disservice. Because I believe Santana when he says, I'm going to spin the block on you. But I don't want you to get out joked by someone like, talk about it. And I want to boo you, Trick. I want to boo you. I want to boo you.
All he has to do is drop the shtick. That's it. Cyclops is better than Wolverine. Saying TNA is just Evolve Wrestling with extra steps. You know what I heard? Cresta, that makes perfect sense to me? People calling them TNA is NXT Dark. Yeah. Ryan Nemeth comes out.
Speaking of dark.
Nick Nemeth returns in 2 weeks. Did you know where Nick Nemeth was during the tapings that weekend? Would you like to wager a guess? In the past, we've had Australia, Qatar. Where do you think he was this week?
Mexico.
He was at the Gathering of the Juggalos.
You know what? I did see that tweet. I did see that. I was like, what side quest are you doing, Mr. Nemeth?
God bless. When I saw that, I just couldn't stop laughing. Oh God, enjoy it. Nick Nemeth at least when he goes away big. It's always like a big international, like, I'm going to Australia, I'm going to work this tour, I'm going to Qatar, I'm going to make all this money, oh, I'm going to the Gathering of the Juggalos, I'll be on the JCW show. Okay, sure, Nick Nemeth, do whatever.
I'm going to learn today.
Oh, it's amazing. Frankie Kazarian defeats Jake Something, another match that has some sort of interference shenanigans. Big power bomb from Jake Something for a near fall was really solid. Picks up Frankie Kazarian and just ragdolls him into that power bomb. Towards the end, Kazarian pulls a turnbuckle in the middle. Something hits a spear, goes for a spear. He hits the turnbuckle that's been exposed, and then Kazarian hits Fade to Black, gets the win. Frankie Kazarian defeats Jake Something.
Tan Uncle needs to be stopped. Let's talk about a heel that gets on my nerves.
He's doing it the right way.
I ethically hate Frankie Kazarian, from his stupid glasses to his stupid scarf. Sorry.
I'm all about it.
It's just like, brother, like, poor Jake Something. Now, if I'm Jake Something, Frankie Kazarian, you better run backstage, because Jake Something's going to bite you and give you rabies, and you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. I feel bad for Jake Something, especially after Frankie Kazarian, every week he's going to point his finger in your face and say, I'm the king of TNA. It's like, yo, go away. I hate you so much because you're going to cheat. Also, the refs tonight, oof.
I mean, one got knocked loopy, but he was cleared. I'm looking at you, Daniel Spencer. I love Daniel Spencer
did not deserve that.
Daniel Spencer being spotlighted during the Bioflex injury report, and I'm just like, really?
Yo, refs have 1 HP, and Daniel Spencer is the bravest of the refs, because I rarely see too many refs take bumps. But anytime when someone's taking a bump in TNA, who is it? Daniel.
That's right. You get hit. You get knocked
Now
out.
you get hit.
He gets
Push
back up.
that man down.
It's fine. He gets back up again.
The
They
1
got-
HP regens quickly.
That's right. It's fine. Listen, they got plenty of referees now. I think they have 4.
Joel, I heard you looking for a job. They got 5.
Not that one. I'm good at a lot of things. I ain't doing that job.
You're not gonna take a spear from Moose because he missed.
I like Moose. Well, you know.
I like Moose, but no.
Not for me. Mara Sade's backstage. She's painting something, and then the Hardys walk in. She said she was inspired by Slammiversary and wanted to make them something. And I guess she's the new subject of the Hardy rub, like Leon Slater was before. And then later on, Order 4 are clowning on the painting. They're looking at it. And then Tasha calls it basura. She calls it trash. Jeff defends it, says, art, man. Art is subjective, or whatever. And then it's going to be a match. They're going to do Tasha versus Mara Sade. And then Matt Hardy, for whatever reason, just calls Tasha Steele's a bitch.
You know, I feel like ever since Matt Hardy called Nick Nemeth annoying to his, Ryan Nemeth annoying to his face, he's been on a roll. Like, this old man is crazy.
I mean, he's about to have a match against Team 3D at the pay-per-view, so he's just getting it in while he still can.
I have to tell you, I was a little disappointed with the painting because the way they made it sound, I thought it was going to be like a Willow painting. It was fine. It wasn't even bad. You guys are you're ordering for haters. That's what you are. It wasn't even, if it was a Willow, I could be like, maybe it's interpretive art. It just literally said Hardy Boys. That's premium hate. Premium hate.
Art is subjective, and I will not be commenting on it. I will leave it to my Substack or something. I don't know. Leon Slater is backstage with I keep wanting to say Josh Alexander, but it's Cedric Alexander. You swapped one Alexander for another. Slater beat Alexander at Emergence for the X Division title. On the line, Slater retains. Now they're pals and they have respect for each other, so they're going to be a tag team. And Cedric Alexander says, I got us a match against the Hardys, and Slater's not super excited, but that'll be a fun match. That's the main event next week. Hardys versus Slater and Alexander. Good stuff.
Leon Slater, you have to learn sooner or later in this business. Friends today, foes tomorrow. And it's healthy competition. Just don't take too many liberties.
We got to talk about this. Jacy, Jayne, Ash by Elegance, Masha Slamovich promo. First of all, thank you. Single Blue Note, the Panda, with a super chat, saying, because watching the review show with Joel and Cresta is better than watching the actual wrestling shows. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you. If nothing else, we'll be more creatively fulfilling than TNA's creative.
Or you'll get a cheap pop because I'm immature.
Shout out to the wrestlers. They work hard, damn it. Get in your super chats, get in your humper chats. Jacy Jayne is defending the Knockouts Championship on Sunday at NXT Heatwave against Ash by Elegance and Masha Slamovich. Jacy Jayne comes down. She runs down Santino, runs down TNA, calls herself the hottest woman in wrestling today. She does that whole shtick. Then Ash by Elegance comes out with Iceman. Iceman starts to talk, and then Ash is like, no, it's fine. You go. And then she calls Jacy Jayne an attention whore, which gets a pop from the crowd. And then she starts screaming, you should be talking about me. This is all about me. And I'm like, Nick Nemeth is somewhere yelling gimmick infringement while he's putting on his Juggalo attire, hearing about this.
Stop it.
That's what Nick does. So anyway, she's like, everyone should be talking about what I've done. And by the way, that snakeskin suit looked good. I think it was very professional by Ash. Looked very nice. She calls herself a 15-time WWE champion, which makes me cackle because those 15 titles.
I thought she was pulling out Don Callis stats. It's like, when did
24/7 titles is what she's talking about. Made me laugh. Then this whole thing goes off the rails, and it goes off the rails in the most you don't notice until I'm telling you about it. Remember when we started this show and I started talking about cameras and white balancing and trying to have equal color temperatures amongst your cameras. Yeah, they had that problem again. The handheld cameras in the ring were completely different from the color temperature of the hard cameras. That was messing everything up. And then you sent me this. Masha makes her entrance, and her lower third lists her as the Knockouts World Champion. So we got that going for us. Then they just argue. The three women argue. And again, the story is Ash and Masha and Jacy. They all hate each other. Ash is the loudest. For anyone, I will be incredibly surprised if Jacy drops that Knockouts title at Heatwave, because as of right now, Ash is there to eat a pin, so that they, I assume, go back to Masha and Jacy, and this is just a side quest. Ash is getting the title shot that she won from that random battle royal they did after the last show. It's something that exists. There was just no reason for this particular promo. There was no, just to get the three women in the ring and add a little something before Sunday for Heatwave. That's it.
My thing is, I felt like it was a lot of talking, but not a lot of substance.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's okay because you did it earlier with Trick. Fine. You do it with your other TNA champion. Fine. But for me, Ash coming out there yelling at Jacy felt correct, sure. But then turning it on Masha Slamovich, which her name is literally said, but you're mad at the wrong person. There's literally an interloper, much like you, who has your title, and you're mad at Masha because she can wrestle better than you. Yes, it's Masha's fault, but Masha got cheated out of her boots, and you, Miss Ash, should know a lot about cheating. Also, again, back to my statement about the fans sometimes being too smart for their own good. The what chance, at first I was like, get her. And then I was like, all right, guys. Why are we so smart, TNA fans? I'm going to need we're going to have a meeting. Corporate Crest is going to call a TNA loyal, faithful meeting because you guys aren't being too loyal. In fact, you guys are being marks.
I get it. I get it when people say, get rid of the what chance or stop doing the what chance it shows. I get it. And I agree with it. If you're still getting it though, in 2025, you, the wrestler, you have to get creative to get out of it. You do. That's just the reality. You have to change up your cadence. You have to trip up the audience, whatever it is. One of the funniest moments I can think of when it comes to changing up the cadence or just throwing them off, Undertaker in like peak what time was doing, I think he's still doing American Badass. He does. And he's doing it, he's cutting a promo, and everyone's doing the what chant. And then he says, say what again if you sleep with your sister? And the crowd just boos vociferously. And guess what? That was the end of that. I've seen people just talk right over it. Or my favorite, you can bulldoze it.
Say what again and I'll leave.
Yeah, but if you're heel, people will do it, and then they'll just get worse. There is a way to do it that works. It just has to be right for the character. I think Saraya did it once where Saraya was getting it in like the middle of a match, or sorry, in the middle of a promo. Maybe it wasn't AEW, maybe it was WWE when she was still Paige. Regardless, she was getting it, and then she just changed her cadence completely, and they couldn't do the what anymore. Because the what comes whenever you say a sentence, what? Then you say the next one, what? And you just run into the cadence. You finish, one sentence leads to another. If you change up the cadence of your promo and you're not just speaking in single sentences and pausing, then you don't get whatted. You can't let it breathe. So that's always my pushback. It's like, I get it. You should, like, we shouldn't be doing this in 2025. Like, we're so much hypothetically better than this. But now it's also up to the competitor. It's up to the wrestler. It's up to the performer to change it up so that the what chant gets completely squashed when it starts.
I also understand the what chant also is a tool to voice your displeasure. Like you said, the promos are very formulaic, and I will be your what. There's also the Paul Heyman approach. What? Don't act like you can't hear me.
Yeah. You can address it. There's a way to do it. You can address it head on. Again, it's whatever fits your character. And some are doing it because they think that it's good heat or because it's a good, audience interaction. Any audience interaction is good. But like, they're not listening to you. They're just waiting for you to stop talking so that they can say what and be part of the show. Don't need that.
I mean, again, if you, like you said, if you can reel it in and control it, I don't know. I changed my stance on it. I changed my stance on it because I was like, I'm tired of it. But then I'm like, you know what? Also, it's a necessary tool because what?
No. It does not need to be a tool. Get out of it. Don't let it happen. Don't let it exist. Do you have anything else to add about this promo? Because otherwise it just kind of existed in its bubble.
What? No.
What?
What? Stop. I love Stone Cold, please.
What?
What? Got your tiny hat. What? Your tiny hat. What? Your tiny hat.
What? Did I ever tell you about the time I completely fantasy booked Stone Cold Steve Austin pushing Aaliyah in the 317 gimmick? Remember when she was doing the Aaliyah 317 because she won a match in 3 minutes and 17 seconds?
I forgot about that person, that wrestler, that moment until you unlocked a shadow memory. So, yes.
I had a whole bit where Stone Cold approaches her and effectively gifts her Austin 316 minutes, Aaliyah 316 with the what's and everything.
I won. What? I won. What? I won. What? In a 3 minutes and 17 seconds. What? I
forget what the bit was, but it was perfect at the time. It ended with her being like, I don't want to wear a beard or shave my head.
I mean, but put a bald cap on and make it a real bad bald cap where you can still see your hair under that. That'll be funny.
The things we could have done in wrestling. EY is backstage. He approaches Myron Reed. He says Myron's expendable because he's the third rascal when Trey comes back. But he's the fourth rascal. But you're in a partnership. You can say it. There are 4 rascals, but I guess Dez is out because he's a bad guy. Anyway, he says, when Trey comes back, you're expendable. So whose side are you on? And then Wentz comes up and is like, hey, what's wrong? And Myron's like, nothing's wrong. So it's EY versus Myron Reed. And I really feel like Myron Reed is eventually going to join Eric Young once Trey Miguel comes back, and whenever that is.
Or it could be a 3-on-3. There's the Northern Arm. Oh, man. Well, then back to my original answer. Beware the Phantom of TNA.
Hey, man, all I'm saying, EY's the ghost and Myron Reed's the flame.
That's crazy. Eric Young is definitely the Phantom of the TNA. So, yikes. I don't want Myron Reed to join the Northern Armory. Number one, he's not Canadian. So there's that.
That is true.
Number 2, what are they? The vision, the design, the specters. Either way, it's not working. You're gonna get with a bunch of losers.
It's true. Next week, Myron Reed, Eric Young, the Inspiration take on Jasmine Nixon, Fallon Henley, Tasha Steelz and Mara Sade. The Hardys take on Slater and Cedric Alexander, and then Trick and AJ take on Santana and Steve Macklin. That's fun. Main event time. This is the usual TV main event after a special, Cresta Starr. Order 4, Ali and the Great Hands defeat Matt Cardona, Moose, and Brian Myers. Tell me if you've heard this before. There was some interference in the match that led to the finish. Have you heard this before?
No way. On a TNA program, on this very TNA program, on this very evening, August 21st, 2025?
I know. Who would have expected it? The finish is Tasha Steelz tries to get involved. Lish helps out and gets beat up for her involvement. Edward Edwards comes down, gets taken out by Agent Zero, aka Big Bill. Not that Big Bill. There's a Big Bill Collier from the East Coast. Low blow from Ali on Myers. Great Hands hit the favor. They get the win. It's a fun finish. The match is fine. There's some really good tag team spots. I need to point this out because what used to be called the FTR pin breakup, we are now calling the Jeremy Lambert pin breakup because it's obnoxious and it needs to stop.
Where everyone's doing this and then people all jumping on them like it's double dutch.
They all land on top of each other to break up the pin. That is the most, and you can blame DIY and FTR for that. They became the proponents in NXT for doing this in the 2016, 17, 18s, and now everyone does it, and it's obnoxious. Every single major tag team match you will ever watch incorporates this spot. Stop it. Stop letting this happen. Everybody does it. They did a pop-up power bomb into the Myers elbow, and then they did the whole Cardona's like, no, trying to block the from anyone getting in on the pin. And no, and everyone just runs into Cardona and Moose and they break up the pin. Stop it. Stop doing that spot. Everybody does it. You don't need to do it anymore. It's done. It's over.
It's canceled.
It's canceled. Stop doing it.
I won't lie. This match to me, it was fine. My biggest complaint with this match is there was too much going on for me to write. This was a good match. I was sports entertained, especially in the last third with that. Let's see if I wrote it down. There's a triple team from the system. That's the breakup spot that you talked about. Tasha Steele stops the second spear on Ali. And then Moose literally says, get out of here, young lady. I've had it. Then we had, this is when I stopped writing, because then you had the spot where Tasha Steele throws Alicia Edwards into the steps. At that time, what's going on? Myers is taking the nut shot in the ring. And don't get me wrong, this is after we've already had Hotch launched into Ali and the Secret Service on the outside. There was a lot going on. I do feel if we were going to have Myers eat the pin anyway, there was no need for a messy finish. Maybe get a clean finish here. I also understand it. Ali needs to be stopped. He's a villain. This man is Lex Luthor, and we're letting it happen. TNA got two problems, NXT and Ali, and I kind of live. Also, why y'all making me cheer for Moose? Why are you making me cheer for Moose? Why? He's supposed to be the bad guy. He's been the bad guy. He's been the dirt about trust the system. And now look at you defending TNA. I'm supposed to hate you. And here I am like, you better get him, Moose.
What's really funny about this is of everyone in the system, Moose is the most justified of the babyface turns because they suddenly turn the system going into Slammiversary because they were facing Darkseid. And like the whole story was Matt Cardona can't trust the system. And then all of a sudden he's besties with the system because they all have Darkseid as a common enemy. And then now that everyone's supposed to cheer the system, they just turn them babyface out of nowhere. Moose was the only one that made sense because he came out of the knockout or the X Division title match respecting Leon Slater and saying nice things, putting the title and shaking his hand and like doing all the nice things. It makes sense for Moose to be a good guy. The rest of the people in the system, they didn't do shit. They defended TNA. And again, you babyface one company and you heel the other company, but the champion is still NXT and he's still getting cheered even though he's the heel. This is why you can't do these stories and expect it to work for 100% of what's expected. It doesn't go that way. So the system got babyfaced for no reason other than we need a babyface for the Dark State match. And then they never explained why they're still babyfaces other than they wear the colors. They even changed their damn music and then changed it back. So I don't know what this whole thing is, but it was never been explained except for Moose, the only one that makes sense out of this whole thing.
I think you're overthinking it.
That's the problem.
Moose is the leader.
So everyone falls in line. It's like Ali with everyone in their group.
That's a little bit more extreme, but yes, Ali was out here threatening your family and kids, and you say you're doing it for your wife, and then wham bam, oh, you tricked us. Okay, we're cool now. After Ali said a lot of inflammatory things about you for the fourth time. But I digress.
Post-match, Cardona goes to make the save. Ali gets a chair. Ali orders the Secret Service to get Moose, hold him up. JDC shows up with his chair, takes his sweet-ass time to make the save. He doesn't even go around the ring. He goes into the ring, beats up a couple Secret Service guys, and eventually does a top rope tope, takes out everyone. Ali and JDC are in the ring together. Big Bill comes in. Sorry, Agent Zero. The other Big Bill is a different guy. Big Bill Collier, Agent Zero, headbutts JDC and choke bombs JDC onto the chair. And then for some reason, Moose is still struggling as he's being held back by three smaller guys somehow.
That made no sense, but I'm going to give you grace. You just wrestled the match, so maybe you tie would.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, that's the only excuse that they have is that he's tired.
I've seen him break out of more, so you're tie would. You would eat me. You would tie would. I get it.
Cardona worked most of the match.
I said what I said. There was because I agree. These guys are your toes, Moose. These guys are the size of the width of your calf. I'm sure you can break out of it, but you EP, he tied with. He had a hard match.
He's so sleepy.
The system is Tywin. The system is EP.
The system needs to go to sleep. That's what it needs to, and so do I. That's TNA Impact for August 21st, 2025. We got through it, pal. We did it. Look at us. Cresta, what you got going on?
All right, y'all. There's a lot. So listen up. If you're in New York City tomorrow, I'll be working Anime NYC. Come say hi. I can't get you nothing free, but you can punch a punching bag. Hey, Lamau. And after that, tonight, I don't know. Friday, tomorrow, I'll be live on this very channel. Myself and Kate will be going over all things SmackDown. Saturday, I'll be at Anime NYC again. And then when I'm done with that, I'll be live here on Fightful again with Iridian and Blake. Also, Blake Christian, Riccacino. They're the same person. I'm peddling that live.
They're not the same person.
I am peddling that live.
They look nothing alike.
Chat believes me.
Blake does not have children. What are you doing? Stop.
Vanilla, baby. I get on the internet to lie. Very easily verifiable lies, okay? So let me have my fun, okay? Also, on Sunday, I will be at Anime NYC, but I will not be here for any post-show or whatever it is. Wednesday, I'll be live on my personal channel. You can find me anywhere on the internet at Cresta Starr, CRESTASTARR, except for X, Twitter, where it's Cresta the Star. I have Blue Sky as well. I don't know the full thing, but if you type Cresta Starr, may the light guide you. Joel, where can the people find you?
I'm in the weeds Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays over on our sister channel, Fightful Overbooked. Tomorrow, Jeremy and I will have plenty to talk about. Blake is not Riccacino. We've had Riccacino on in the weeds. We've had Blake Christian on in the weeds. 2 great interviews. Check those out. They are different people. They are subjective.
Until they get an interview together and I can parlay this together.
Nope.
I don't believe it.
No, stop it. Stop it.
You ever seen Sami Zayn and El Generico in the same room?
Yes.
I rest my case, Your Honor. I rest my case, Your Honor.
You ever seen Serpentico and John Cruz in the same room?
I rest my case, Your Honor. Open and shut case.
It's not open and shut. They're not the same person. They don't look alike. They look nothing alike. You people need to stop this gaslighting garbage. Someone asking, why is Joe Gacy so mad about this? I'm mad about this because the tag team titles deserve better. They deserve. I held these titles with the best of intentions, and you people are just gaslighting me into who
but
looks
not
like
Blake
me.
Christian. So you haven't held the title with Blake Christian, and that's why you're
10 a.m. Eastern, Fightful Overbooked. That's where I do it. I'm here Thursdays. If I want to be talking about TNA, why? Some weeks I wonder, but Cresta's here every night apparently. So for her, you know who I am, you know who she is. My Evil Luna interview probably drops in the next couple of days, and then the Stu Grayson interview, and then the Savage Gnomes. Check out the notes over on Fightful Select, best $5.99 in the business. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers. He's not.